What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. In this training, we're going to break down the college application timeline for current high school juniors. So if you're a junior currently right now, this training is perfect to prepare to finish this year correctly and to get you ready for your next year's college application process. If it's our very first time meeting, my name is Coach Tony, former UC Berkeley admissions reader, former UCLA outreach director. I've been helping families with the college admissions process for the last 16 years now. And our goal is to kind of demystify this admissions process, help you guys out. Some of our families, your very first child going through the process. For some of us, it's our second, third child. But the process, again, is very intimidating for some. So our goal is to break it down as easy as we can for you guys to kind of help you guys out in this journey here. That being said, let's go ahead and dive straight in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. I enjoy just like lecturing and just talking on the Google Doc as well too. So again, let's go ahead and break it down, right? So how I'm going to go this training, we're going to talk about, we're going to do the start, right? Start of junior year itself from August. We're going to go all the way. We're basically going to go through 11th grade, and then we'll talk about 12th grade a little bit, the beginning of 12th grade to help you guys understand that timeline as well too. We'll go through each one, kind of give you some action steps to think about, to do, so you guys can kind of understand that as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Actually, before we dive in, keep in mind this is kind of relative. This training is quite, I try to help as many families as I can. So this does differ a little bit for every single student as well. It depends on the colleges you're applying to. So I'll try to call it out as I go through. Some of you might be applying to Ivy League schools. Some of you guys might be applying to state schools. So it depends on what your school goals are, and we'll kind of adjust as we can here, right? So first off, let's talk about 11th grade. So if you're watching this call live, we are actually doing this in November. However, but those who are watching this in the future and you start us in the beginning of August of your junior year, right? What you should be doing, I'll say August, September, right? Is the key is making sure, where's the, sorry, I have a lot of tabs open. Where's my mouse? There you go, right? Ensure that class schedule for this year demonstrates rigor. That's probably the most important thing for this year. Again, for a lot of schools, right? This is like the second last year that the colleges will see your performance, right? As actually, this is the last year they'll see performance as well too. So the most important thing when it comes to the academics, we want to make sure the rigor is there. What does that mean? That means, right, rigor is like AP level courses, IB, or college level dual enrollment courses as well too. So we want to demonstrate in our schedule as well. People always ask the question, Coach Tony, should my child take APs and get a B, or should it take regular classes to get an A? The answer is you want to go for the AP classes and get an A. Why even give your child the choice of the B? No. Just aim for the A as well too. Then you make them rechange how they think, right? It's instead of a which option can I settle for? It's how do I make that happen? That's kind of mental shift for the students here, right? So we want to max the rigor. How many? Right? It depends on the schools, right? How many depends on your goals. So I would say if you're aiming for a top tier school, an Ivy League, a top state school, if you're like in California, LA, Berkeley, Stanford, these schools, you want to compare yourself, right? Compare yourself to your high school is number one. High school number one, and then region is number two, like part of town you're in is the key. And that's kind of how it works. Admission is to compare you against every single person applying, just because again, everyone has different profiles. I bet you we're going live right now, recording this on Zoom. There's 118 people here, so thank you for joining me live here. I bet if I ask everyone, hey, drop your schedules as well too, there's some people might have 0 APs. There might be people with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 or even more as well too. So the idea is everyone's number is different, but again, does that mean that the person with 6 is better than the person with 0? Not really. Again, relative, right? Let's say, for example, that student with 0, their school doesn't even offer APs. So they did something else, right? And then that comparison doesn't make sense. For the student, let's say with 4 APs, is that a lot? Again, depends. What if the average student in your school takes 5? Then you're actually below average at your school as well, too. So the thing that readers consider They compare you against your classmates. So that's gonna be the biggest thing to understand is how are you relative to them is gonna be the key. Right? So that's kind of the first thing to ensure. So hopefully the schedule is as strong as it can be is the first one. Okay. Another thing I would also talk about, let me put this in this the tab. My mouse keeps disappearing. Where's the mouse again? There you go. That's there, right? The other one, I would say it's the overlays, the class overlays, class major overlays. This means depending on the major that you're doing as well too, as a reader, we are looking for certain classes on your schedule. I actually did a training on this literally yesterday, so it should be uploaded. You can see based on the majors that you're applying, there's certain classes that a reader is kind of trained to look for. So example one, right? If you're as a doing engineering, I'm looking for advanced math, like post BC, right? Post AP Calc BC, which we like, for example, we have our students go out to the college to take like multivariable calculus, linear algebra, differential equations, right? Plus advanced physics, right? Physics C, for example, AP Physics C, and more advanced classes over here, right? That's one example there. We broke that down. So check that training out if you guys missed that. But that's also something we want to make sure you do because, again, a lot of classes are sequential, right? Most high school classes are sequential. That means you got to take one class to go to the next one, right, as well too. So if you haven't done a certain class, right, you may want to consider how do I catch up? Because if not, you might be a year behind and you might not make it to the classes that you want to go is the key. Okay, so that's the first one. Making sure your classes are good to go. Something else you want to do around this time as well too is the PSAT plan. Question mark. The reason why is should you not as well too. The 11th grade PSAT qualifies you. This could qualify for national merit if you have a high enough score. So what you usually have our students do is take a practice test. Your 10th grade PSAT. So here's an if there. If your 10th grade PSAT is really high, right? Then we will say study and take it, right? So if your score is really close to perfect as well too, or close to the top, take as well too. If not really high, right? Then just take it blindly, right? Just go in, don't feel you got to study for it. It's not going to affect anything too much, but you need to be qualified at the very top to be considered, right? And keep in mind, this is per state, right? The score is per state as well too. So check this out. Depending on your score is California, by the way, where our score is cut off is perfect as well too. So you have to get almost a perfect score to qualify over here. So if you're not getting within like 20, 30 points of perfect, I would say just don't stress about it. Just take it blindly, take it and see how well we do to prepare yourself for the actual SAT. But again, if you are doing really well, 100% recommend study for it because if you get a really high score that can qualify you for national merit is the key here as well too. Okay, so that's gonna be the PSAT plan. I think the last one when it comes to this time is activities for the year, right? So when it comes to activities as a general, so here's a quick little high level thing. Our goal for our students, depending on the schools you want to aim for, we typically aim for 20 to 30 hours per week of activities. Again, a lot of our students are aiming for like top tier colleges, Ivy League level colleges. So this is kind of the metric that we're aiming for. Again, if you're not aiming for the schools, you don't have to go as crazy. So I can go down a little bit there. But this is what we see a lot of our students do, and they tend to be very successful in this process doing so as well, right? When it comes to what do you do, there's going to be two buckets of activities. The first bucket is tasting your major, right? Doing things related to your major. Basically, if I looked at your child's activities, can I tell they're interested in that major or not? That's kind of the first one, right? And then once I understand that, the other thing I call it personal interest, right? Besides their major, what else are they interested in doing? That's the other thing that we're looking for specifically in their profile. So these are the two buckets you want to do. Something you want to start thinking about for this year, though, is you look into leadership opportunities, right? Leadership opportunities as well too. There's two types of them. There's gonna be the formal, right? Oops, the formal roles, which is the president, vice president, secretary roles as well too. But keep in mind, not everyone's gonna be able to get these, right? Because there's only one role for a lot of people. So this one, we also think of informal roles. What that means is that let's say you were at an event and you led a group of people doing X thing. Yeah, you didn't have a title of, oh, I'm a leader, but you did leadershipy kind of activities, right? You had leadership qualities in you. We call that informal roles. Both are good as well. Take it, and these are one of the traits that colleges look for in students. So you're doing that as well too. And again, it shouldn't feel forced. It shouldn't be like you have to be leadership. Again, ideally, if you like something enough, you kind of want to and take on that role. Anyways, kind of how it makes it a little easier for our students over here. Okay. So that is going to be the high level things. We are again August, September is kind of what we're looking at right now. Okay. Now moving on. Next thing, we're getting closer to the reality right now. October, right? October is the month for the actual PSAT itself. Again, if you do really good, you qualify for national merit. I think this is the acronym for that as well too. Again, only we recommend studying hard if you're close to that perfect score or that close to that like qualifying score for your state. If you're not close to it, you can study for it, but it's not going to be a huge payoff. We're really big on being efficient. That's all it is, right? So can you study? You can study all you want, but then keep in mind if it's not going to help you, you're spending hours on something where you should have spent more hours on something else. That's kind of our take when it comes to these things as well too. Okay, at this point as well too, you should start looking into colleges. It's something that you want to start looking as well too, right? Because you're applying literally a year from now as well too. So start looking to colleges. We always tell students to start looking at factors that you care about. Okay, some of our students already started this earlier, especially with our coaching program, doing a roadmap. We help kind of craft your ideas of schools that you should be applying to as well too. Now, this is for those who haven't started yet, right? Think about what things you care about in a college, right? For example, a few things. Example is going to be like proximity. How far do you want to stay from home, right? Some people want to stay really close. Some people want to go far away. My story, I went far away as I could for college, is that right? Think about opportunities, right? What's available at your school or in the cities, other one too. Size, right? How big of a school do you want? How small of a school? Class size. You want to be in a room like a lecture room where 100, 200 people to one lecturer, or do you want to get to know your professor, like smaller 10, 5, 20 people per class where you get to know the person teaching you as well too. So different factors, and this varies per student. You notice I didn't immediately say ranking, right? We always tell students keep ranking top 10, not top 5. What that means, again, if you guys are aiming for Ivy or nothing else, again, I'm sure you guys are on your right track. You guys are doing that. For us, we care about good, perfect fit for our students. That's kind of our big kind of North Star when it comes to college lists as well, too. Because we know that not everyone's meant to go to an Ivy League, nor should every student should aim to do that. As such as not, I would not want to, knowing what our Ivy kids do to get in. I'm not gonna go down that path either. But again, I was joked that or half joke parents, you and I, we would love to brag if our students got into top schools too. So again, top 10 is not bad. It does help with college job placement after the colleges as well too. But is that the only factor? Probably not. But not, especially today, as we're moving into a more AI powered world, right? I think skill set, I think networking, that's going to play a much bigger role as time plays out as well too. Okay, so again, that's something we tell people keep ranking there. But again, your first question shouldn't be best school for engineering, best schools for this. The reason why is most students, here's a fun fact for you. Fun fact here, 80% of students switch majors at least one time as well to 80%, which means out of the 120 of you guys here, but is 90-ish of you guys, close to 100 will switch majors, which means if you're going to a school for that major, your child might even switch from that as well too. So I tell students, you're gonna switch your majors possibly, but you're probably not gonna switch your college. So make sure you enjoy going to the school that you are kind of aiming for is the key. Okay, so that's something to start thinking about in the month there, right? Next, we're in November and December now, right? So now if you're watching this live in November, December, we're in this zone right over here. A few things here. First one, academics, right? Are we good for finals, right? Again, keep in mind, junior year grades are so important because this is the last semester, the last year of grades they are going to see. So make sure your grades are doing well. So again, students don't naturally just get a C out of nowhere. You don't get a bad grade out of nowhere. You see it. I tell parents, like, think of it as, imagine you go online every day, you wake up, you check your bank account. You know exactly to the dollar, to the cent, how much money you have in the account. And the minute it drops like $100, it drops a few $100, you know right away because you check it every single day. Same thing for students. A lot of students don't have that big of a bank account to check there, but students can see your grades on a daily basis. Most schools have online platforms now. You can check, right? You don't just, oh my goodness, I got a C out of nowhere. No, no, no. Your grade was probably 100, 98, 97, 92, 88, 82, and you saw it popping down. We should have caught that way earlier is the key, right? So again, going back here, right? Let's not wait till December to be like, oh no, we're really behind. Let's track it as we go. See, hey, this grade's dipping. How do we bring it back up is the key. Okay, so that's one of the big ones. Another one also is college visits as well too. Planned out. And a lot of families, this is like one of your few breaks left. Winter break, spring break, summer break. A lot of people do use this break to go visit colleges as well, right? And when it comes to visiting college, a lot of people ask me, Coach Tony, what questions should I ask on the tour? The answer, be selfish. Right? Be selfish with your questions as well too. Again, you're the one going to school. Do you care about how many kids are there? Do you care how old a building is? Probably not, but there are things that you care that other people don't care too much about. So I think that's what you want to do. And my other pro tip here, another pro tip, is you can go do the tours officially from the school. That's fine too. What we like to recommend, talk to actual students as well. What that means is instead of focusing on listening to like the person who's paid to tell you nice things about the school, talk to a student. A student again knows the goods and the bads, right? You tell me I went to Berkeley, I can tell you a ton of bad things about Berkeley as well too, but there's a reason why I loved it. Right, the reason why I chose to go there, I loved it as well too. I wouldn't go into any other school if I had to redo it again. I still pick Berkeley one more time as well too. This again, despite all the bad things there, that means the students went there for a reason. Talk to them. They'll either convince you or kind of shoo you away. That's kind of, this is like your chance to be a little selfish again as well. Okay. Something else is also programs. Summer planning, right? So, i.e., summer programs are coming up. Programs. A lot of these summer programs have deadlines in late December, early January, even February. You don't want to wait till then because you don't have time. A lot of these programs do have essays and things to write about as well too. So your goal is to try to shortlist, right? Try to shortlist opportunities that will be a good fit for you guys is the key. Now here's another like coaching tip for you guys, right? When it comes to programs, internships, research, all these kind of fancy buzzwords you see, there's two filters, right? The two filter test, right? Coach Tony, people always ask, Coach Tony, should I do this? Should I not do this? Here's kind of the easy kind of you can figure out yourself, right? The first way I ask you is from a parent point of view, right? Parent point of view, does it fit within the finances as well? Some programs do cost money. I don't think every paid program is bad either, right? Because again, some programs give you a certain opportunity that others don't. So I think that's kind of one of the things to keep in mind here. But right, some programs again, though you shouldn't have to stress out about the cost either if that's the case. That's the first one. Then, so hopefully your answer is like, yep, we're good. Then the students, the filter here is if Coach Tony doesn't let me put this on my college app, do I still want to do this? Is the key. because some students truly only do something to look good for college. Or they're like, oh, I'm doing this to stand out admissions. I'm like, yes, but I don't know that's the right approach in this journey over here too. So I think something to keep in mind is this framework as well too. Again, of course, by the way, of course, you will always want to share everything you do on the call. Do not hide. Do not put it on your app. You means you definitely want to put everything on your college apps itself there. But these are good filter questions to go through. Like, should I do it? Should I not do it? It has to go through the right kind of mentality of doing it as well too. Okay, so that's the tip on summer planning. This will take us all the way. And again, my other tip here is rest. Rest, right? During break as well, too. Again, our students, usually this year is a big jump up from last year, right? Junior year is usually the year they're doubling their rigor from last year, which was already hard. They're spending way more time here. So during winter break, sleep, right? Sleep more, catch up on rest as well, too. Again, you are going to burn out if you don't have these kind of tools in place. So definitely rest over break time. Okay. Next one, we're in January, February time, right? January, February time. First thing we do is testing, right? This is going to be, are we taking the test, yes or no, is going to be the question over here, right? Because again, not everyone should be taking a test. Like for example, there's going to be test blind schools, right? For example, the UCs and CSUs, as of today, they're still blind for the next 3 years till 2028. They are still going to be blind. So if you are a current junior now and a sophomore now, no UCs, no Cal States will be asking for your test scores. Freshmen, however, you are the year after that policy, so maybe for you it might change, but at least for the next 2 years, it's not going to change. So if you're applying only to UCs, nothing else, then I would say skip this, right? You don't even need to look at it. Don't waste your time. Again, it's all time management. Where are you spending your time? Where you're not spending your time is the key, okay? The next best is the test required schools. This is the other extreme, right? Think like the example here is like the Ivies. I would say all the Ivies, most of the Ivies. There's like I think Columbia, I believe, is a test optional as well too, right? If your school is test required, plan for it as well too, right? And if you plan for it, we recommend taking this 2 times, right? Take 2 times, one for the regular one for the retake as well. Are the 2 that you guys will want to plan for. Is the key here. The first one you take it, but you're nervous. It's your first exam. You'll retake. You'll probably study. You know what you did wrong, and then you'll retake it and be like, got it. I'm more confident now. You tend to have a bigger increase. Can you take it more? Right? Don't recommend 3 plus. Because again, can you? Of course you can. Not saying you can't, but again, how much score can your score increase by your 3rd take is the key, right? Because again, you'll study like another 40, 80 hours for like an extra 20 points, which is not going to do too much in the big picture. So usually the first 2 tests, you have a score, you do really well, and that's usually it. You're good to go. Unless again, you got sick both exams, you did really bad both, maybe do a 3rd time. But for the most part, a lot of our students, 2 times, you should be good to go, right? And I'll say usually most of our students take it March, June is what a lot of our kids do anyways, is the thing. The reason why we start January is it takes around 8 weeks. We have a crash course our students kind of go through as well too. It's an 8-week kind of thing. I think 8 weeks is good. It's not too long. It's not too short. It's enough time to kind of understand what you need to focus on that, score the best you can in that time over here. Okay, so that's going to be the testing over here. And then this is a continuation of summer, right? Summer planning as well too. So I would make sure again, whatever plan you're doing, and now you should be applying, you should be shortlisting more programs as well too. Again, some of the programs you guys are applying to are very competitive. So keep in mind, we want to kind of diversify the basket. I would say open as many doors as you can and then walk through the one you want to go to, right? Don't just bet on applying to 1 or 2 programs out. That's it, right? Have a lot of plans in place so that we have the options, right? It's always nicer to have options than not to. So you always apply and always say no later on. That's how I tell families. I can always say yes. But again, even if you apply whatever, it's still a good opportunity because it's a learning lesson, right? You're practicing, right? What you're doing now is practicing for college essays. It's kind of the process over here. Okay. Moving on. Next one. Let's do March and April. Right. For this one, we always tell our students during this season, you want to start to finalize your college list during this month as well too. Because again, by now, not much is going to change too much between now and the end for the most part. So now is a good time to start to finalize your college from our coaching students. By the way, this is when we start to finalize the college list for you guys as well too. Keep in mind there's going to be reach, target, and safety schools. A good way to think about it is that if you kind of compare your stats with the school's average GPA, test scores as well too, right? If your stats are the same, that's a target school for you. You should have odds of getting into the school. If your stats are higher than the average, that's a safety school for you. If your stats are under or right or the reach school has a less than 20% admin rate, it's a reach for anybody. No matter how many A's you have, if it's less than like UCLA, I think it's 8% for anyone applying. That's not a target school for anybody, right? It's still a reach for every single student as well, too. You want to have a kind of diverse list of like mix, and mix. A lot of our students apply 10, 15 schools. So you do 15, 5, 5, 5, right? If you want to be a little more ambitious, do more reaches, a little less safeties, but you kind of want to spread out that way is going to be the key. Okay, so that's going to be the college list here. We will also recommend major recommendations as well too for your schools because during this time, right, each school, not every school offers every single major is the key. There's some schools that it might benefit to apply to certain majors as well too. Some schools it may not apply benefit. Some majors are more competitive than others as well too. So understanding which ones to apply to is going to be a key as well over here. Okay. Moving on from here again. Now we're speeding through a lot. Now I'm seeing anything else we're missing. Again, same thing. Sometimes here the college visits, right? For those of you guys who still do college visits continued, college not college list, college visits, right? Continued. The reason why usually is spring break. Spring break, another big time to go. Something I do encourage if you can, little pro tip here, right? Pro tip. Try to visit the school with students present as well too. A lot of people like to visit on weekends, which makes sense, right? We only have the weekend off to go as well. But the issue of the weekend is it's a ghost town. The school is empty. Because the school is empty, you can't really get a good feel for the campus, and you might as well just do a virtual tour if you just want to see the school is the thing. So I do recommend visiting when the school is in session. There are students going around. You can see things happening. That'll help you give you more the culture of the school and how it feels like over here. Okay. Last May, June, we're preparing for summer now. This one's very exciting, right? First one is exam season, right? This is AP exams and finals as well, too, right? So for those of you who are taking AP exams as well, you should be, this is your month two prep for the exams. Again, making sure, actually IB as well, too, for those taking IB exams. Right, AP out of 5, IB out of 7, doing well because again a high enough score will get you college credit. Keep in mind though, notes, not every passing score gets you college credit as well too. What people don't get by this is, for example, let's say you want to go to UCLA, right? Example, UCLA's I'm gonna call this AP validation. So for any school you want to go to, by the way, you can actually look this up as well as the first one. Here we go. So this is a good example for you guys, right? Really quick, I'm sharing to a new tab. Can you guys see my screen? Those who are joining me live, so I don't say something funny. Okay, when you chat in chat, can you guys see? It should be like UCLA credit, APs, awards. Yes, awesome, fantastic. So what this means, right? What this means is that based on your scores, you may or may not get college credit. So, for example, let's say you take the AP Art History exam, you get a 3, right? UCLA will recognize that as credit, right? That means that you get 3, 4, or 5. They're going to give you Art History 8 units credit there, right? But let's go down. Look at this, chemistry, right? If you get a 3 on the chemistry exam, they're only going to give you credit for introductory chemistry, but you didn't get credit for general chemistry. For some majors, you have to pass general chemistry as part of the major requirements, which means when you go to UCLA, if you go here, you have to retake general chem to get the credit for if that was part of your main. You see that like some people 3 to 5 is good, but for some of these 3 gets you like this one just gets you units, no classes. This one gets you classes, right? There's some of these scores you'll see. Try to find one here. French, right? You get a 3, you get credit for French 4. You get a 4, you get credit for French 5. You get a 5, you get credit for French 6. So depending on how your scores end up, you may or may not get college credit. Again, every school is different, so it's not like this is good for every school. Just look up every school you guys want to if you want to do this as well. But keep in mind that's gonna be the easy answer is get a 5, get a 5 on the APs, get a 7 on the IBs. It's very simple said, much harder to actually execute. But just get a perfect score, then I can guarantee you that you'll transfer. You are good to go here. Okay, so that's gonna be the May-June season over here. At this time, also we also recommend students letters of recommendation, right? Letters of recommendation, right? Yeah, like Coach Tony, this is really early, right? Yes, but you're not asking for the letter here. What you're doing right here is you're asking for permission to ask them for the letters rec in the fall time, right? So you want to go here because most likely it needs to be people, teachers are people who know you. That's the most important thing. You don't care about titles. People always say, "Oh, I want to have Doctor So and So, this researcher write me a letter." I'm like, "That's cool. Do they know you, or do you just have a fancy title?" Oh, I want to ask the CEO of this company. I'm like, okay. And so again, as a reader, the people are kind of irrelevant. Like as a reader, I also joke with people like you might think they're special. They're just another name on a piece of paper for me. I have no clue who most of these fancy people are. Is the key. So when it comes to these names, the person's title means nothing. I'd rather know someone who knows you. Is the one, and it's usually your 11th, 10th, or ninth grade teachers is the ones that you would ask for. Your 12th grade, they just met you. They probably won't have a lot of strong things to say that they know you as well too. So usually, again, it is one of use one of the younger grades as well over here. Okay, so that's gonna be the big one when it comes to this section specifically. Here, and all you're asking if they can write you a strong letter of recommendation, a letter of rec in the fall. That's all you're asking at this point. As you just need a verbal yes for them, say, "Hey, I can." Awesome. Just let them know, "Hey, I'll get back to you in the fall time. I'll give you more instructions once I find out more from the schools." Is the key. Okay, so that's that. Something for a lot of our students, by the way, if you're one of our coaching students, during this time as well too, we're going to help you also brainstorm your essay topics as well. So at this part, we're going to help you guys figure out, cool, from the schools that you guys are applying to, right? The schools that you're applying to, which ones are you, what topics should we talk about? At a high level, let's kind of break it down real fast, right? At a high level, really quick, which ones do we do? We're going to go ahead and I always tell students the three-step example I always say is on a sheet of paper, right? You want to brainstorm, right? Activities you've done in high school. You want to experiences you've lived through in high school and identities you belong to today, like what you can claim that you belong to today, right? So that's kind of what we have here. And you got to come up with a list, right? Come a list with like 20, 30 things, right? List of 20 plus things in like less than 5 minutes. Again, don't spend too much time on this, but try to come up with things that you have done is going to be the key over here. Okay. Once you have the list of things, we're going to play process of elimination as well too. You want to figure out which of these made the most significant impact on who you are, who as in the student, right? Is who is today as well too. Meaning, right? There are things that you did, there's activities, experiences, identities that you have done, you've lived through that changed life a little bit. I always ask, what if, right? What if you never did this, right? How different will life be? How different would life be? Right? Examples for those of you guys, for example, what if Manny Pacquiao never did boxing? What if Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, or Michael Jordan never played basketball, touched the basketball? right? What if Tiger Woods never touched a golf club? These are sports. I've tried. Hopefully, people understand one of those analogies, right? These are kind of big names in their sport. If they never did that, I bet you they'll still be all good people, right? Great people in what they do, but they wouldn't be the same person they are today, right? I think we can all agree that. So going back to here for the student, I'm like, cool, you did Key Club. Imagine you never joined Key Club. How different would life be? And for some students, oh man, it's huge. That made me who I am as a person. Some people, it's okay. It's not it, right? Didn't change life too much for me is the key. So the big thing to understand is, again, which things have you done that has made you the most hard? And you want to identify, right? Identify top 4 topics that would answer this question, right? That what are the 4 biggest things that define you who you are? So let's say your child really big into soccer. If the soccer is their life, that's probably one of their 4 topics as well too. Maybe for some of you guys, your kid did the summer program that like completely changed who they are. If they didn't do that, they would be a different person altogether. That might be their topic. Keep in mind that all 4 topics needs to be different, right? You don't want to say topic 1, I'm a goalie. Topic 2, I'm a team captain of my same team as well too. That's the same topic, right? The same topic of like soccer or whatever the thing is. So you want to have 4 separate topics all together, right? That's kind of high level. And then we match this to the college prompts is the key here. So going back again, this is how we'd walk through which topics you talk about. And then you see how we didn't even look at the questions yet. We looked at the questions after you had the topics. Then you like, that's a big mistake, by the way. It's a little spoilers. That's a big mistake a lot of seniors do. They focus on the questions first. They're like, oh, leadership, I did leadership. And you focus on that. That's not the right approach. You want to start with your topics first. Then you go find the question that lets you answer. The questions don't matter. The readers don't really care what question you pick. They just want to learn about you. And if you start with the question first, sometimes you lead into an answer you think you want the reader to know, but it's not really that important or that significant. That's the big difference here. Okay, so that's going to be our May and June. I think we're good. Awesome. So for here, right, now we're moving on to summer. Let's call it summer in general. This is what July, August, September, right? Is the months or August, September, right? These 2 months as well too. So when it comes to summer, right? What do you do? Summer classes and activities, right? Why do summer classes? This is the last set of classes and grades that your colleges will see. So we do recommend taking classes. We like to recommend dual enrollment courses if you can. We have a whole ton of training on dual enrollment. If you guys don't know what it is, search it up, egelloC, dual enrollment. You probably find a bunch of training videos that we have about that. These are college level courses you're taking as a high school student. This is the last set of grades. Make sure you finish really strong on them. And also your activities, right? You want to fill up activities that, like, again, the tasting your major bucket, as well as personal interest as well, to fill up your rest of your hours with this as well, because again, this is the last set of like the last term that you can do before you submit everything, right? That's the big one. Next, you're gonna write your essays, write and edit your essays. Again, why so early, Coach Tony? Because our goal is to not stress you guys out as well. So the sooner you start getting your essays completed, the sooner you don't have to worry about it is the key there. So again, so there's a few stages, right? There's the stage 1, which is like the rough draft, right? I call this the brain dump draft. Basically, don't think too hard, just get everything on paper. The reason why this is hard, why students stress out, they wait so long to get their rough drafts done because they want to make it perfect. I will guarantee anyone watching this, your first draft is going to be bad. Like I've done 16 years now. I've never met a good first draft. So to the students who are watching this as well too, your first draft is going to be bad. I'm going to expect it to be bad. So don't stress out too hard about this. A lot of students try to make it so perfect. I'm like, no. It's not going to be perfect, right? Just keep in mind, it's not going to be good, right? But I need your thoughts on paper because this whole prompt, I can't help you, right? Unlike if you told me, Coach Tom, I'm doing a book report on this book. I'm like, cool. I can read the book and I can help give you ideas because this is your life. I didn't live your life, so I can't help you until you tell me about your life so I can help you with the next step. So that's why stage 1 is so important. Get your thoughts on paper, your thoughts down on paper is the key. Brain dump everything, right? Next stage we tell our students to do is you want to focus on the structure. We call this the 30-70 rule, which means, right, most students focus so much on the story. I don't care about the story. Again, I bet you if I ask you who here played sports, a lot of people say I played sports. I'm like, cool. Then what makes you special than all the other sport kids? Who here did a club? A lot of kids do clubs. Cool. What makes you special than all the other kids who do clubs? Right? The thing is not that important. I call that the 30% is the what you did, right? What you did. The 70% is going to be focused on why you did what you did. That's unique. Think about it. Two kids play soccer. Their whys are separately, completely different from each other. One student just loves soccer. The other student as well too. This is who they are growing up, right? Growing up, this is their way of this. So every story is gonna be a little different of their why as well. So I think understand that's the big thing. And at the end, stage 3 is cut down, right? Stage 3 is the word count. Word counts. So that's pretty much the high level 3 things. Make sure you hit the word count. For the Common App, 650 words. For the UCs, 350 words. Supplements varies between like a few words to a few hundred words, depends on the stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the high level how to answer every single question is the key here, right? You edit nonstop as well too, is the key there. I do recommend don't just have one editor. Purposely for us, we have multiple editors. The reason why is you don't know who's gonna read your draft because you don't know who it. What if the person you wrote, they have no clue what you're talking about is the key. Then you're like unknown. So have someone you trust, have someone consistent that they know you, but also ask like 1 or 2 people that you also trust, right? But they can provide different perspective. Hey, I see this. What about this? I'm confused about this part. That's what the multiple editors are really good for. Your goal, just like the actual reading process, you get multiple readers, 2, 3 readers. You want everyone to give you a yes. That's the practice for you guys. Okay, so that's gonna be the summer. Boom, boom, boom. That's pretty much it here. And also prepare for senior year. Prepare for senior year. What it happens over here? Classes are super important. Your class schedule is the most important part of the entire process, right? Of the entire section, right? They won't see grades. A lot of colleges would not. Some CPM people will see fall semester grades, but most people will not see grades. As a result of that, you want to make sure your rigor, again, rigor over all, right, is the key that you want over here. Okay, that's that. The going back real fast, writing your essays. So the structure, the order that we like to have our students do. If you're applying to UCs, I will have UCs first. The reason why that gets you 4 topics, right? Then you go to the Common App itself, which is the one big essay. How you do that from your 4 topics. One of them is the most strongest. That becomes your next one. And then you're going to finish your early action colleges, early action, early decision colleges as well too. They have supplemental essays, right? Supplemental essays. These are the different essays that they're going to ask you for it. Guess what? Spoilers. The reason why we started UC, you already use one of them for the Common App. The other 3 could be topics for your supplement. That's kind of how we now recycle as well too, right? For those who don't know, early action, you apply early, find out early. Early decision, you apply early. If you get in, you're locked in. Legally, you're going to that school no matter what. You sign a legal paperwork that you're going there. Again, we recommend everyone early action. We don't recommend early decision unless that is your like absolute dream school. Growing up, that's all you think about. I want to go here. Nothing's going to stop me if I get in. Cool. ED is your best friend. That's going to help you the most with this process here. Okay. Then once you finish this, then you go back to the UCs and finish the UCs. I mean, that means the order. Start the UCs, finish, start and finish, right? The Common App, start and finish the early action, and then finish the UCs, and then you want to finish, and then you want to start and finish the regular decision as well too. These are all the extra schools that you're doing that are not the UC schools as well too, right? I would say UCs and start, finish CSUs. CSUs, by the way, if you go to a Cal State school, Cal Poly, Cal State Long Beach, one of these schools, for California schools, there's no essay. It's only classes. That's it. It's classes and grades. That's all they ask you. So pretty straightforward application here. Okay. So this is the order I'd have you guys follow. That's pretty much it for the summer, right? So coming to actually that's pretty much it. That's junior year. So that is gonna be it. Maybe in the future training we'll talk about senior year itself. But really quick, was this training helpful? In the chat, in fact, we still have 123 people now joining us. Was this training a little helpful for you guys? to see the timeline of everything, drop a quick little yes in the chat if this was a little helpful for you guys here. Only one person thought that was helpful. 120 something did not think this call was helpful as well too. There you go. We got a few more now. Fantastic. Cool. One last thing I'll plug right now, since we are all here live, we're talking about the college application process. Something we are launching, right? Something we are launching this week. If you're watching this live, we're launching the week of Black Friday itself. We are launching our college application intensive for the juniors right now. So if you're a 2027 class, this event is for you. So next year, right, in the month of like May to August, we're going to host a 6-week dedicated event to help you with all your essays, from basically trying to figure out what college list, right, you're going to have, so help you figure out your reach, your target, your safety schools, your major recommendations, and we're going to help you brainstorm the topics that you're going to write about for each of the essays as well too. And over the 6 weeks, we're going to have a series of things to give you guys. One, training videos every single week of how to open the application, how to write the certain essays, how to write your activities. Then each week there's a group coaching call you can join and get feedback. They're going to debrief on the training as well as talk any questions that anyone has as well too. Group format. You can listen to other students ask questions. You can ask questions other people can learn from you as well too. And every single week there's 2 forms of edits. First one, there's live edits, right? So you meet directly with the editor. They're going to talk to you each week, help you edit what you're going to do over here. And we're going to do an async edit for you guys as well. So we're going to go ahead and send in your essays to our team. We're going to edit it for you and send it back to you guys as well. We're going to have some resources for you guys there, but this is pretty much what we call our 6-week college application intensive. For those who have been following from the past, in the past, we'd had it like a 2-day event, but we did the math. We only worked with the student individually for like an hour over the 2 days. So this way, right away, with just the one editing, you have 3 hours of editing, not include the asyncs, not include the weekly call. So we're like almost 5xing the amount of support, and we're 6xing the length of the event. Our goal this year was, how do we get you to done? That's kind of the key for us this upcoming year, is get you guys to done is the key as well, versus a lot of last year's, we got people started, but a lot of people couldn't finish as well. So that's kind of the big shift from last year to this year. For those who are new, this is our event one of our signature events is the key. We are launching this on Black Friday. So this Friday, if you guys are interested, if you're part of our list, you'll see an email from me in the morning to get it. If you haven't seen our emails, text us or email us. I can add you to the list as well too. This event, if you guys want to get started by Black Friday, it's gonna be $1,500 for the 6 weeks as well too. Right after that, it bumps up to $2,000. So after Black Friday, so starting whatever Saturday's name is, Saturday, it'll go up to $2,000. So again, chance to save the most money and get started for next year is the key. Okay, so that is pretty much our event. For next year, we're super excited to help give even more families with the admissions process for this upcoming year. That's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this training, and I'll see you guys on next call.